Two Geeks, Two Beers podcast. Nerdy obsessions, drunken ramblings with Morgan Geoffrey and Tom Eames.
I believe in my powers.
I believe in my powers.
I believe in the powers of my teammates.
I believe in the powers of my teammates.
I trust in my powers.
I trust in my powers.
I trust in the powers of my teammates.
I trust in the powers of my teammates.
Hello, and welcome to episode 108 of Two Geeks, Two Beers, a show hosted by two blokes desperately clinging to life before middle age by being stuck in the past where everything was better.
I thought you were just going to say, hosted by two blokes desperately clinging to life. I was like, bit bleak.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm Tom, and with me is Morgan.
Hi.
This time I'm heading back to the late 90s for a superhero film like no other. A genuinely hilarious film that deserves to be more loved than it is, in my opinion.
I agree.
You could see it's a film that was not a hit at the box office, but has gone on to become a cult favourite over time.
Two Geeks follow.
Yeah. It is Mystery Men.
Yes.
So coming up, how it was originally meant to star Hollywood and TV legend, even shorter than me, high tensions between two lead cast members, and how it essentially ended the career of its director.
but it's honestly, it's really good.
Oh yeah, it's a really good film.
It's a really good film.
Before we start, just been to the pub. You might understand from my voice. Just had a Doom bar, which if you've listened to previous episodes, it's an acquired taste. And it was this time. Because it must have been bottle of the barrel.
Yeah. Because
it tasted like vinegar. It was disgusting. You tasted a bit of it. It was awful.
It wasn't good. No, it wasn't.
And then what did you decide to do?
I got a couple of whiskeys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm like with whiskey?
Yeah.
Not a good idea.
But I loved the idea that you had a Doom bar that was bad, it was off.
Yeah.
But I loved the idea that you would go back to the bar and say, sorry, I think this Doom bar is actually off. And that barmaid from before,
she's back.
Somehow she's in a totally different pub.
Yeah.
She's moved locations, but she's there.
Yeah.
Judging, being like, I did say it was an acquired taste.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you're like, no, but this one is...
I didn't know.
This one is genuinely like, it's off, it's bad. And she's like, nah, yeah, okay, don't worry.
Anyway, so just so you know, a little bit worse for wear for that reason. But anyway, so for me, Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of those first films that my family owned on DVD. So much like, I think I mentioned before, Batman and Robin, of all the films, I still remember it looking like incredible when watching it back.
Yeah.
Even though the film itself was rubbish.
Yeah. Another laughable superhero movie.
Yeah.
But for different reasons.
Yeah. We would just watch it on our small computer monitor at the time and like really simple surround sound speakers. But it just looked... even if you watched it now, if you put the DVD in now, it would look like you were watching it on a potato.
But at the time, it
just looked so slick.
It was...
I always remember glass falling on the floor and just be like... the amazing sound of the glass.
Do you know what I think you remember? I think you remember that advert that was, this is DVD, and this is what happens when you watch DVD. And it was this advert that was on, ironically, it was on VHSs at the time.
Yeah.
So it was encouraging you to buy DVDs. So actually, presumably, the visuals and the sound were no sharper.
No.
Because they were on VHS. But it was like, oh yeah, when you hear the sound,
it'll blow your mind.
There were like clips of like, like a soundscape, and a guy was like looking all around him in the room because he's like, where's the sound coming from? I can't believe it. It's blowing my mind. Like, what? Oh my God. Yeah. And like glass shattering, and people were just like, what is going on? This is a truly immersive experience.
I can't explain the experience is what we were feeling at the time. And Mystery Men was very much one of those.
This is DVD. And this is what happens when you watch DVD. It's a movie on a disc the size of a CD. The picture is twice as sharp as VHS. The sound is infinitely clearer. It looks and sounds like you're at the movies, but you can experience it at home. Not to mention, you can watch it in widescreen. Pick your language.
Choisissez votre langue.
Choose from many additional features. Watch a movie right on your computer. And rent or buy DVDs created by these great Hollywood studios. DVD. See how good a movie at home can be. And now, choose from hundreds of great DVD titles like these. DVD.
Yeah.
So it came out in 1999. What a year for cinema that was. And as such, I think it just got lost in the noise of everything else that was going on that year in cinema.
Famously one of the best years for cinema.
Yeah. And it was just in that period of, it was superhero films, they were starting to gain a bit of traction.
Yeah.
Blade, I think, had been out the year before.
Yeah.
But it was before X-Men.
The year before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously like 9 years before the MCU started.
Yeah.
And also, I think, I mentioned this in the bar before.
Yeah.
I feel like there's some similarities with The Boys, which I have to admit I have not quite seen yet, but I already know that in like 5 or 6 weeks' time I will have seen it, and it's already one of my favourite films. So TV shows, I already know it's going to be one of my favourite TV shows.
Yeah. So Tom let me in on this little nugget in the pub. He was like, I'm going to draw a comparison between Mystery Men
to a TV show I've not seen
and The Boys.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't think they are all that similar. And
I don't think so, mate.
Well, to be fair, I've not seen The Boys. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But you've seen bits of The Boys, haven't you? And it's from what I can tell, it's a bunch of non-superheroes, right?
Yeah.
Who are trying to, there are real superheroes out there.
Yeah.
And they hate them or they think they're rubbish.
Yeah.
And they're trying to go, no, they're crap. And they're taken over by like commercialism and all this.
Yeah.
And so the boys are trying to band together to go, no, we can do it better, or we'll pick up the slack or whatever.
Yeah, kind of.
And that is what Mystery Men is as well. It's the same storyline.
I guess kind of.
It's the exact same storyline. And there are articles out there. If you search The Boys Mystery Men, other people have written about it, so it's not just me. So I feel like it's a timely time to talk about Mystery Men because The Boys right now is like one of the favourite TV shows on the planet.
Yeah.
And so if you've seen The Boys and you love it, in my opinion, track down Mystery Men if you haven't seen it. And I feel like you'll see some similarities.
It's nothing like it, but okay.
Thematically, it's nothing like it.
No, thematically maybe, but tonally, I just don't want people who like love The Boys.
No, it's not the same. No. But the anyway, memories for you though for Mystery Men.
So, I have seen Mystery Men.
You've seen it.
I have seen Mystery Men.
Good.
Approximately 52 times.
Whoa.
Yeah. I love this film.
So when I suggested out of the blue that, because we didn't plan this one, I just suddenly said, I'm doing Mystery Men this week.
Planning this podcast? What are you talking about? No, you just, I couldn't believe it. I was almost annoyed. A little bit annoyed because I was like,
I should be doing this.
I would have done it.
I'm a bit embarrassed now because you should probably be doing this.
No. Well, I'll let you know at the end if I should have done. Actually, that was terrible. I should have done this. No. So, love it. It was, so when I was younger, me and my brother would watch a relatively small selection of films over and over and over again. And one of them, I don't know why particularly, I think it was just like what we had on VHS. I think we actually had it on VHS. One of them was Austin Powers, The Spy Who Shagged Me. A film I've seen probably about 45 times.
Fair enough.
And the other one was Mystery Men. And we watched it on a loop for about 2 years. I've seen it probably more than most other films in my own personal back catalogue. I've seen it a lot. So
similar to, when I talk about The Lake House or Serendipity, if you're really perfectly honest with yourself, this is probably top 5 favourite films, technically. Yeah. Because of the amount of times you've seen it.
And weirdly, I've not watched it for a long time. Yeah. So this is a great opportunity to dive back in and renew my acquaintance with Mystery Men. But I have, in terms of films that I genuinely, if I want to sit down and enjoy watching, probably top 5.
Oh, okay.
Top 5.
Good.
Yeah.
Well, call me out if I get things wrong. Or
why are you hosting?
I don't know. This is why I went to plan the fucking podcast. Anyway, so if you don't know, Mystery Men, a superhero comedy film directed by Kinnear Usher in his feature-length directorial debut, and as far as I can tell, his only proper film.
Well,
which is madness.
That is madness. What a loss to cinema.
Written by Neil Cuthbert.
Tom thinks we're going to cut this bit out, but we're not. He's Googling now what Neil Cuthbert's done.
The man behind Hocus Pocus.
Okay. And that's,
great film.
again, it's a very
It's come back.
It's a very timely time to talk about
Disney
it.
Plus.
Yeah.
With a great ensemble cast, which we'll get onto.
Yeah.
It follows the story of a team of lesser superheroes with unimpressive powers who are required to save the day when it counts. According to IMDb, this was the only film Usher directed, right? Otherwise,
this is Kinka Usher, not the
Usher,
not the R&B star Usher. Yeah.
Usher otherwise did very.
You're going to have to refer to him by his full name because otherwise, I'm just going to imagine. Usher
directed just out of nowhere. Usher directed Mystery Men. Never again.
Well, Usher did have a brief film career. Usher is in The Faculty.
Is he?
Have you seen The Faculty?
I did at the time.
Great film.
Remember it.
Usher's in it for some reason.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kinka.
There we go.
He did a few TV commercials, and it was really good at commercials by the sounds of it. But now, I think his experience on this put him off doing more films, essentially.
Or he was like,
I can't better this.
I've peaked.
Yeah.
I have peaked.
But anyway, let's go for a trailer before we get onto it.
All right.
More, shall we?
In a place called Champion City, the forces of good and evil
Captain Amazing. What a surprise.
are about to collide.
So good.
Well, we've always been each other's greatest nemesis. Nemesis.
Mystery Men is genuinely the film that taught me that the plural of nemesis is
nemesis.
nemesis. No, it's nemesis.
Nemesis.
It is nemesis.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hero missing.
Captain Amazing is in danger.
Kaboom. Who will step forward
You again. Wannabes.
to answer the call of justice?
Don't mess with the volcano, my man, because I will go Pompeii on your butt.
We'll get onto the cast.
Yeah.
This is Ben Stiller's best film.
Yeah, I agree.
They've been waiting for this moment
The city's in peril, Lucille.
all of their lives.
Butch needs his vest back.
Well, it's my vest, too. I bought it for him.
And William H Macy's, I'd say.
I'm a superhero, too.
What's his power?
Excuse me.
They're going to need all the help they can get.
We gotta find a lot of superheroes really quickly. State your name and power.
PMS Avenger. I only work 4 days a month.
I think I discovered what periods were watching this film from that scene.
Very educational.
Yeah.
Waffle Man! Am I too late to try out?
Sorry.
And we discovered Smash Mouth with this film, which is...
Right.
Yeah.
We'll get onto this.
Yeah.
Captain Amazing.
Smash Mouth All-Star, sort of late 90s, early noughties classic. Most people associate it with Shrek.
Yeah.
For me,
Nah,
Mystery Men.
Yeah.
Part really doesn't work for me.
A new league of heroes that step to a different beat.
Well, I am a ticking time bomb of fury.
I don't find you threatening at all.
Let's do some carnage.
We're not your classic heroes. We're the other guys.
Mystery Men.
I'm invisible. Can you see me?
Yes.
Wow.
Maybe you should put some shorts on or something if you want to keep fighting evil today.
A perfect movie.
Brilliant. Yeah. Brilliant. So, set in Champion City, the amateur superhero team of Mr. Furious, the Shoveler, and the Blue Raja attempt to make a name for themselves, but their inexperience, infighting, and dubious abilities generally result in defeat and frustration. While trying to stop a robbery in progress, they are upstaged by the city's powerful and arrogant superhero, Captain Amazing. However, Amazing's crime-fighting prowess has practically made his job obsolete. Without any worthy adversaries or adversaries, most are either dead, in exile, or in jail. His corporate sponsors are beginning to withdraw support. So Captain Amazing appears. He's got it's like a NASCAR racer. He's got all the sponsors badges and stickers on his superhero outfit.
As much as I hate to agree with you, that's a good point. The whole commercialization of superheroism.
Yeah,
that is kind of
I'm telling you.
Shut up! You've not even seen The Boys. You don't know.
Shut up!
I'm telling you. Shut up! Shut up! Shut up, Ben.
So to create a need for his services, Amazing uses his alter ego, billionaire lawyer Lance Hunt, to argue for the release of his nemesis, supervillain Casanova Frankenstein, from an insane asylum. Yeah. So he's like, my sponsors are pulling out. I need to beat someone.
Yeah.
How about I just sort of let him out and then I can take him out again?
Unleash my arch nemesis. Yeah.
You know, tooth decay and gingivitis can be a crime. That's why I use Mighty Whitey toothpaste. Because I want...
we'll get on to Greg Kinnear, but his finest role as well.
I'm going to bring this up again. It's $150 a piece. We each chip in. My cousin knows this guy who knows a publicist.
What are we going to publicize, Roy? The fact that we get our butts kicked a lot?
Well, maybe if you didn't smack me in the face with a shovel every time we went out,
All right,
you'd have some more wins to brag about.
I'm sorry about that. I just have a tendency to lose my concentration when I've got a salad fork stuck in my rear end.
Oh, I get it. So your shovel in his face is my fault.
You threw a spoon at the guy, Jeff.
Yeah, what was up with that?
I feel embarrassed about that. I thought it was a fork.
You're the master of cutlery. You can't throw a knife sometimes?
No, I
when someone's
can't.
trying to kill me?
You can't use a rake sometimes?
No, I'm the shovel.
Well, I'm the blue Raja. I'm not stab man. I'm not...
Knifey boy. I'm the blue Raja.
You know,
Really
that's
annoying.
another thing.
What?
I mean, you could get a little bit of blue in the uniform somewhere.
So
you
true.
got green, there's like a little flowery thing happening, but there's like everything but.
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
If you could just...
Doesn't make a lot of sense.
Just one moment.
Hey, ooh, look what I'm doing. Look at that. I'm putting 150 right on the table. Who's in with me? Huh?
I don't have 150. Now, do I? If I did, I would plunder my mother's silverware.
It's a waste of money.
You know who doesn't think it's a waste of money? Little Mr. Captain Amazing.
Well, Captain, if we had a billionaire like Lance Hunt as our benefactor, yeah, we could spend 150.
The best joke of the film coming up.
Yeah.
Oh, don't
here we go.
start that again. Lance Hunt wears glasses. Captain Amazing doesn't wear glasses.
He takes them off when he transforms.
That doesn't make any sense. He wouldn't be able to see.
I always remember that line.
Really stupid, but brilliant.
Yeah. Brilliant. Yeah, because it's the ultimate Clark Kent thing.
Yeah.
Taking a piss out of that. It's like, because Clark Kent always is exactly the same. Just put glasses on, and Nova's like, oh, who's that? And yeah.
Who's that?
It shows him up. Brilliant.
About time someone called him Clark Kent. Yeah.
So the plan backfires. Once released and reunited with his henchmen, Tony P and his disco boys, Casanova Frankenstein blows up the asylum, easily outwits and captures Amazing, and prepares to unleash the Psycho Franculator, which lethally bends reality on the city. On a stakeout of Casanova Frankenstein's mansion, Mr. Furious observes Amazing's capture and informs his team. After an unsuccessful rescue attempt, the three realise that they need more allies.
Did you say an unacceptable rescue?
It was meant to be unsuccessful. We'll listen back later and see what I said.
Well, I mean, that time you just said unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful. Unsuccessful. I've made up a word. You got the bloody shot. It's your fault.
Not for the first time. You've made up a word.
Through word of mouth and auditions, they recruit Invisible Boy, the Spleen, and the Bowler.
Oh, bugger all. It's the spleen. Oh, play dead.
Who's that? Turn your head. Don't say anything.
Now, I've never seen Pee Wee Herman.
Nor me.
But here's Paul Reubens, in my opinion, in his finest role.
This film is anyone who's in it, is automatically their best role.
Yeah.
Hey, fellas. Word on the street is looking for superheroes.
And as I guess I was how old? Like 13?
Yeah.
The Spleen, the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
His superpower
is farting.
For those who are not aware, is farting.
Yeah.
Enjoy.
Why you guys so ditching me? It hurts my feelings. I'm a superhero too. I have powers. Really? Oh, like what? Ooh, so glad you asked. Oh. Excuse me. Well, it all started when I was just 13 years of age. One day, while walking with some friends, I accidentally cut the cheese. Well, in my adolescent awkwardness, I blamed it on an old gypsy woman who happened to be passing by. Big mistake! The gypsy woman placed a curse upon my head. Because I'd smelt it, she decreed I would forevermore be he who does it! Let me illustrate.
No, you don't have to.
It's not necessary, really.
Let's see. Distance? 7 meters. Airspeed normal? Compensate for air
You don't
conditioning?
get enough toilet humour anymore, do you, in cinema? It just doesn't happen.
Don't do it.
Oh, dear God.
Silent, but deadly.
That's good.
I mean, if it wasn't obvious, he was farting and it knocked out a lot of people. But hilarious to a 13-year-old boy. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life.
And to a 35-year-old man.
Oh, yeah, still to this day. Yeah. So the emboldened team ambushed Casanova's limousine, but merely succeed in annoying him. While drunk from celebrating their victory, the team is nearly killed in retaliation by Tony P and the Disco Boys. They are saved by the Sphinx, an enigmatic superhero, very mysterious, who agrees to train them. The Sphinx's unconventional team-building exercise and his general rhetoric annoy Mr. Furious, who quits the group, but the others flourish under his tutelage.
I can't believe the words you've since nailed. Like tutelage was fine, but unsuccessful.
Unsuccessful.
Yeah, you were successful in saying
very successful.
You were very successful in saying tutelage, but unsuccessful in saying unsuccessful.
Knowing that they will still be outgunned,
carrying on.
The group seek out Doc Heller, who specializes in non-lethal weaponry, to equip them for their battle. Furious, encouraged by his new girlfriend Monica, rejoins the team. The team break into Casanova's mansion during a summit of several of the city's gangs, but while attempting...
Right.
Oh.
So this is so strange.
What?
How you managed to just say summit of several of the city's gangs. Again, fine.
Absolutely fine.
You were totally successful with that.
If I'm concentrating well enough.
If you concentrate real good, you can just tap into that excess.
But while attempting to free Captain Amazing, they inadvertently set off the Psycho Fraculator and kill him. Whoops.
Anyone still following the plot? Not seen this movie?
It doesn't really matter. Just getting through it.
A classic Tom Eames plot recap.
Hey, morons, over here.
It's Captain Amazing.
We've been looking for you.
Yeah, there's a light switch behind you there. Turn it on.
Ooh. My. Well, we meet again, eh, Captain?
We're here to rescue you. Yeah.
Blue Rajan, you would call me so? Master of Silverware. You told me to keep up good work after the Red Eye skirmish.
I meet so many people in this business, but I think so. Yes, could you two locate the master ignition switch over there in the main console? Maybe you could open that up?
I've got it here in 2 shakes of lamb's tail, Captain. Frightfully uncomfortable.
Great.
How does this work?
Oh, I see one of these things. Yeah. Okay, you gotta push this thing in, I think, and twist it.
Don't force it, don't force it.
She's right, my little friend. This contraption is in fact a weapon of mass destruction. Casanova plans to turn it against the city tonight at midnight.
Hey, something's happening.
Okay, very good. Now, on the wall to your left, you should see 2 toggles side by side.
Oh, toggles? What do you mean toggles? You talking about switches?
I see them, Captain.
Thank you. Flip the first toggle.
Flipping.
Excellent work. Now flip.
Jolly good work, team. Jolly good.
Could you just over there, please?
Of course. Sorry.
Now flip the second toggle.
As he says, Bella, and let turn off his speed.
Captain, I'm just going to ask you directly. Do you know billionaire Lance Hunt?
It's me. No, I'm kidding with you. I've always wanted to do that.
What's next?
I just told you, flip the second toggle.
Again?
What do you mean?
Flip the toggle twice?
No, don't do that. Just flip it again, now, one time. Flip it.
Does he understand what I'm asking?
Captain, exactly how many toggle flips in toto are involved in this entire procedure?
It's 7.
7?
Flip it!
7?
Hold the phone, everybody, hold the phone. You phrased that incorrectly. We need to know how many toggle flips are needed, not counting the gratuitous toggle flip you may have asked for in a moment of panic.
Flip it!
Okay, you know what? Can we just start again? Is there some sort of reset button on this thing?
No, you little freak. There's no button for reset.
You little freak.
Don't stare at me. Lift your left arm. Flip it, you moron! Whoa. You're a moron! You're a moron!
Flip the switch. Flip it! That's not cool.
Thank you.
I will do it.
Flip the switch, lady! Don't look at me like that.
It's this one, yeah?
Uh-oh. Wrong switch.
Everybody heard me say reset button, right?
So without amazing, the shoveler delivers a pep talk that succeeds in uniting and inspiring them. And with new resolve, the team assaults the mansion again, this time through a mix of surprise teamwork, maximizing their quasi-superpowers and Hella's quirky weapons. They subdue Casanova, Frankenstein's henchman. I'm doing so well. But Frankenstein holds Monica hostage and activates the psychofraculator, which begins to wreak havoc upon the city. While the team works to disable the device, Mr. Furious takes on Casanova, unleashes his inner rage, and fights effectively for the first time, finally proving that he is a superhero.
What are you doing? They must have ripped the Q section out of my dictionary, because I don't know the meaning of the word quit.
Oh, you want a little fisticuffs? Okay. Get him, Roy.
Rage. Taking over.
Yeah. We've heard of that before.
No. Rage really taking over. Frick you later, Frankenpuss.
Frankenpuss. I forgot about that. So yeah, Casanova, thrown into the core of his psychofraculator and killed by its reality-bending powers. The rest of the team helps the bowler to destroy the device and escape the mansion as it implodes. The team is swarmed by reporters who want to know the group's name as they argue possible names among themselves. One reporter says, well, whatever you may call them, Champion City will forever owe a debt of gratitude to these mystery men. But the others are too busy arguing to hear that. So, but in general speaking, you loved it as a kid. Well, I say a kid, we were early teens at the time, but still.
Loved it.
Counts, doesn't it?
Loved it. Still love it.
Yeah. So, amazing cast.
Yeah.
If you don't know, Ben Stiller as Roy or Mr. Furious, a superhero whose power is his rage. I've got to say, never been a massive Ben Stiller fan myself.
Nor me.
And didn't like the Meet the Parents films. It's something about Mary's all right in it. That's never really warmed to him as an actor.
Never chimed with Stiller.
No. But this is great. He's
great in it. He's great in it.
Really good in it.
Genuinely his best role.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hank Azaria.
Yeah.
As Geoffrey or the Blue Raja, a superhero who uses cutlery but never knives with great accuracy.
Blue Raja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, great.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's not, I don't feel like I don't want to be impolite, but I feel like there's like a huge amount of competition for like the best Hank Azaria film.
Great in Friends.
Great.
As is Ben Stiller, which we'll get onto in a minute.
Great in Friends. Yeah, great in Friends. Phoebe should have ended up with David.
He should have done.
Yeah.
And also, do you remember when he was in like Godzilla as kind of a sexy guy? Do you remember? He was trying to be a bit of a...
He's like a photographer guy or something.
But he's quite buff in a weird way. He's sort of from New York and he's a bit more like of a guy.
He's a bit sexy.
Yeah.
He's a bit sexy in that. Yeah.
That was his one time to try and like, be that kind of character.
98's Godzilla is definitely future episode.
Yeah, absolutely.
Broderick, Azaria, all your favourites are in it. Jean Reno, weirdly.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, great bit in that where, again, as a kid, I thought it was I remember watching the trailer for Godzilla and there's a bit where Godzilla's coming.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh shit, Godzilla's coming. Someone goes, what should we do now? Jean Reno goes, running would be a good idea. And at the time I was like, one of the greatest lines in cinema history.
Brilliant.
Well done, Jean Reno.
William H Macy as Eddie or the Shoveler.
Yeah. With a unique haircut.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, if you haven't seen the film, Google it. I'm like, how did he get that? It's so severe. How did he get that haircut?
Very impressive.
Very impressive.
He's a quarry worker turned superhero.
He's a what?
A quarry. Try to say that. Quarry worker.
A quarry worker.
Oh, well done.
He's a quarry worker.
Good for you.
I was really successful in saying quarry
worker. I can't do it. A quarry worker. I can't do it. A quarry worker. I have to put a gap in.
Yeah.
A quarry worker. No.
No. Just move on.
He's that turned superhero who wields a shovel as a weapon. I mean, that's all it is. He just has a shovel. He just beats the crap out of people with a shovel. Jaenene Garofalo as Carol, or the bowler, a superhero whose crystal bowling ball contains the skull of her dead father, Carmine the bowler, who died fighting the Disco Boys. What's she best known for is
indie films,
indie comedies and things,
and Mystery Men, and 24. She was in 24.
Oh yeah, she was in 24. Yeah, she was great in that.
Yeah, Janice.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Greg Kinnear as Lance Hunt / Captain Amazing, Champion City's local superhero.
Yeah,
great.
Greg Kinnear is great. I love Greg Kinnear. I'm always happy to see Greg Kinnear in things.
Yeah.
But there's also, you know that thing of celebrities read mean tweets. I think it's from Jimmy Kimmel or something. And there's one that Greg Kinnear reads, and it's Greg Kinnear stars in No One Gives a Fuck or something, or it's something along those lines, like No One Gives a Fuck Ever. And it's like, I feel bad for Greg Kinnear because I love Greg Kinnear. I'm always happy to see him in stuff, but no one's ever like, when's the new Greg Kinnear movie coming?
Well, one day we'll do You've Got Mail and we'll talk about Greg Kinnear.
Great in that.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. For that one guy who keeps asking us to do You've Got Mail, You've Got Mail on Facebook, we will do it, and we'll talk about Greg Kinnear at length.
Kel Mitchell as Invisible Boy.
Yeah.
Superhero can only become invisible if nobody's looking. Think about that one.
It's one of Kel's greatest ever roles.
Yeah.
His other great role, of course, being Kel.
Didn't need Keenan for this one.
No. Struck out by himself.
Yeah.
Great. Great in it. Really good.
Paul Reubens, as we say, is a spleen whose flatulence makes others faint. Pee Wee Herman was a few years before this, wasn't it? It was like 10 years before.
Quite some time before.
So it was good for him to try something else.
Making a comeback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Geoffrey Rush as Casanova Frankenstein, a criminal genius.
Yeah.
In his first ever role in Hollywood, like a proper...
What?
Yeah, apparently, in terms of Hollywood...
Geoffrey Rush's first ever role?
In terms of like Hollywood proper film, his first one. You know, like Alan Rickman did nothing before Die Hard. He had, but in terms of films, he hadn't done a film since.
And Casanova Frankenstein,
that was his first.
Is as iconic a screen antagonist as Hans Gruber.
And great.
Yeah, really good in it. Really good.
Wes Studi as the Sphinx, mysterious superhero who uses mind to cut firearms in half. Claire Forlani as Monica, the waitress who's Roy's love interest. Now, she was very of that era, wasn't she?
Very 90s. Very 90s.
But I feel like as soon as 2000 happened, where has she gone? She must be doing things.
I think Claire Forlani was so 90s that she just evaporated when the moment the clock struck, the moment Big Ben struck, January 1st, 2000, Claire Forlani just somehow like dissipated.
Yeah,
it doesn't exist anymore, Claire Forlani, as a concept.
Doc Keller, the mad scientist, played by Tom Waits. Of all people.
Tom Waits.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah, good.
He's good in it.
Yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
And Tony P, the leader of Disco Boys.
Yeah.
Eddie Izzard.
Yeah. Eddie Izzard is brilliant in this movie. Absolutely brilliant. And I'll tell you for why.
Okay.
Eddie Izzard takes it
deadly seriously.
Serious.
Yeah.
Deadly serious.
Really
and there are lots of great line deliveries in Mystery Men, loads of them. But two of my favourites come from Eddie Izzard.
Yeah.
One is when they're both exchanges with Geoffrey Rush's Casanova Frankenstein, where he says, Casanova says, they say that disco is dead. And Eddie Izzard says, disco is not dead. Disco is life. Really into it. Really into
Been
it.
locked up for 20 years, Casanova. A lot of things have changed since then.
It must have been hard for you, Tony, the way times and styles have changed. To hear the people saying that disco is dead. Disco is not dead. Disco is life. Yes, Tony, that is the passion. I remember.
And then the other best line delivery is almost like the flip side of that, where it's so deadpan, and I don't know why I find it so hilarious, but there's a bit where Casanova is talking about, I think, the Mystery Men, and he says, the vermin are back. And Eddie Izzard goes, vermin should be exterminated, Casanova. And it's sort
Why
of...
did you say it like that?
It's sort of badly delivered.
Yeah.
But iconic in its own way. Vermin should be exterminated, Casanova. And it's like sassy and brilliant. Eddie Izzard is brilliant in this movie, and I won't hear anything different.
I don't think anyone's saying against it.
No one's saying anything about it. No one is discussing. There is no discourse
quality of
around
Eddie Izzard's
the quality of Eddie Izzard's acting in Mystery Men. But I'm putting out there, great in it.
Yeah.
Some vermin are back, Tony.
Vermin should be exterminated, Casanova.
You know how certain lines weren't, they're just the ones you remember from films, like that one.
Yeah.
For me, it's the bit where William H Macy, when they come against the Disco Boys, and they've got like wrenches as weapons.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Who are you meant to be, the disco plumber?" And just like a throwaway line, and just makes me laugh every time I think about it.
Yeah.
Who are you meant to be, the disco plumber?
Well, they made a big mistake coming to Casanova's place. What's so funny?
That's it? That's your power? You have guns? Couldn't you be a little more creative than that?
Do forgive the impertinence, Governor, but what the devil does a pistol have to do with disco? Weak at best.
Check out the guy with the pipe. What are you, the disco plumber?
So let's go back to the making of The Mystery Men, the actually interesting bit of this episode. So in 1997...
Everyone's like, thank God, because so far it's been dire.
I never know whether I'm going to include the plot points in the episodes that I do, but it's part of the fun.
I think
got to get through the slog of that. Anyway, 1997, Mike Richardson, publisher of Dark Horse Comics, pitched the Mystery Men concepts to producers Larry Gordon and Lloyd Levin at Universal.
Mike Richardson, your Richardson, everyone's Richardson.
Very good. It was loosely based on the Flaming Carrot comics. Have you ever heard of that? Obviously, I haven't, but you might have done.
It rings a bell.
Yeah.
Rings a bell. Rings a carrot.
It's an American superhero comic book created by Bob Burden, featuring the absurd, surreal adventure of the title character, Flaming Carrot. The series first appeared in Visions #1, a magazine-sized comic book publication. Flaming Carrot chronicled the further adventures of the strangest man alive. Right? Right. Levin said, Bob Burden, at the core of his work is something that's thematically so identifiable. I think there is an almost childlike persistence of all his characters, and they ultimately hold onto the conviction that with courage and sacrifice, they can become what they dream. The film was announced in mid-97, along with a raft of comic book adaptations at the time, which hadn't been made, including Blade. And then, did these films happen? You'll know.
I'll tell you.
Virus?
Maybe.
Superman Lives. I know that didn't happen. That was Nicolas Cage.
Tim Burton.
X-Men obviously happened.
Yeah.
Fantastic Four eventually happened.
Yeah.
The Hulk eventually happened.
Eventually.
Captain America, that didn't happen then. That was ages of, The Submariner?
Submariner.
Submariner.
Oh. No, although will appear in Black Panther Wakanda Forever.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
The character's in it.
Okay.
Namor.
Iron Man eventually happened. Daredevil eventually happened.
Yeah.
Silver Surfer did not happen. Although kind of did with the Fantastic Four or whatever. Hellboy eventually happened. Concrete.
Don't think that happened.
Green Hornets, it kind of did eventually.
Seth Rogen, yeah.
And 26 other titles. They just didn't bother reading them off.
Because they were less notable than Concrete.
Yeah. What's Concrete?
Concrete.
What's that?
Someone's going to be like,
I think you'll find.
My favourite character is Concrete.
Yeah.
If your favourite character is Concrete,
good for you.
Two Geeks good for you.
Yeah.
Two Geeks Cast on all the social media channels.
Yeah, let us know.
Podcast at 2geeks2beers.com.
Why should Concrete still be made?
Why should we do an episode about Concrete?
Yeah. So that autumn, Danny DeVito was in talks, right?
For what role?
For a $13 million deal to both star and direct. But negotiations broke down over who would produce the soundtrack. But why was that the thing that crumbled?
What?
I need it to be Bush. Bush need to do the soundtrack.
Oh, that would have been great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He said, it was a big deal for me. I really wanted it. So I walked away from the project. What?
He was like, unless Mystery Men is made exactly to my specific...
But instead I got Hole, and I didn't want Hole.
No. You either want a Bush...
Exactly.
You either want Bush or Hole.
One or the other.
Rarely do you want both. So DeVito was like, I care about this so much that I can't bear it to be made in any way that's not exactly to my specifications.
All right.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller was then approached to rewrite and direct, but he turned it down as well. I decided I didn't want to do it, he explained, because it was just too much. It was a huge movie I'd be taking on. Just didn't want to do it. So commercial director Kinka Usher was signed in April 98 to direct.
Usher.
He had won awards for the Got Milk commercials and the Taco Bell Chihuahua campaigns. I'm sure that means something to someone.
He's the Got Milk guy.
I guess so.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like, get me the Got Milk guy.
Yeah. Yeah, of all the people.
Yeah.
See those Got Milk adverts?
Yeah.
He's the one I want.
That guy.
Yeah. He had been approached for other films, but he was discouraged when he saw the script for Mystery Men. I thought it was boring, he said. However, the premise was great. He continued, most of the movies made by commercial directors are heavy on visuals and thin on content. I don't want to be part of that. I was very cognizant of showing that I know how to work with character.
Cognizant, you nailed.
I know. I struggled. I looked at it for a second.
Yeah, there was a moment. This will be lost. This will be lost in a podcast. There's just a brief flicker. I saw the fear in Tom's eyes when he saw cognizant, and he was like,
"Is that it?"
And then he
I'm
absolutely
going to go for it.
Fucking nailed it.
Garofalo signed on and persuaded Stiller to appear in the film. I met Kinnear and he was nice and funny and the money was good, so I decided to do it. She said, I had to twist Ben's arm because he's always so busy. So it's Garofalo that got Ben involved.
Yeah, it's really not doing you any favours that Jaenene Garofalo.
That's a hard name to say. Stiller was originally offered the Blue Raja role, but he was not interested in playing what he called a nerdy guy again. After what did he do? Something about Mary?
Something about Mary, yeah.
The minute you start doing the same thing in comedy, people go, oh, I've seen that, he said. He took the role of Mr. Furious, but explained in the original script, he was just angry all the time. But I thought that'd be boring. So one of the changes I made is that he had the least power. Like, if we're a band, I'm the guy who started the band, but was also the least talented. So like Brian Jones and the Rolling Stones. It was all down to him, but after a few years, like, yeah, but definitely.
We've moved on.
Yeah. Geoffrey Rush was cast in, as I already said, his first Hollywood film, right?
Can't believe it.
I know. Followed by Azaria, Reubens, Forlani, and Macy. There wasn't really much information about the casting. And then Kinnear and Izzard as well. Others in consideration for roles, but annoyingly doesn't say what roles. We can only speculate.
Let's speculate.
Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames?
Yeah.
Right, I was like, right, it'll be fairly okay. We don't know exactly. No, I was like, we don't know exactly what roles that they would have been up for, but we can kind of guess. What role would Ving Rhames have been up for?
Don't know. Eddie Izzard, maybe. He'd have been good at that.
Would he?
The shoveler.
Yeah, I guess sort of.
Deadpan.
He would have been equally good and
Shoveling.
bad at all of them. I guess.
I know.
It's so offbeat that I'm like, yeah, I guess he could have done that.
And the other one was Vince Vaughn, so maybe that was the Ben Stiller role, maybe.
Or I can see
Casanova.
him. Or I can see him as the shoveler.
Yeah,
you know, that sort of deadpan.
Any of them.
Yeah, Vince Vaughn. The range of that man.
Reubens said, I like the idea. I hadn't seen it before. I love the cast that was assembled by the time I came into it and thought the script was fun, smart, and goofy. Regarding his character, he said, I felt like I was playing the character as kind of slow when I saw the movie. It didn't seem like that at all. Don't know what that says. I love that way he said, I don't know what that says.
Yeah, I don't know if you're allowed to say that anymore. He's slow.
Oh, I didn't think of it like that.
Yeah.
I thought he just meant literally slow.
Paul Reubens.
Paul Reubens, come on. So according to Stiller, the script was fluid. The script was being reworked all the time by everybody.
Fluid is a nice way of saying it didn't have a script. Didn't have a script.
Everybody kind of wanted to personalize their part and try to make it as funny as possible. So the idea we had going in to just have everyone kind of get together and try to make it as funny as we could, especially in the context of a big action special effects type movie. You know, a lot of the time what gets lost is the specific character stuff and the small moments that really have to work for the whole thing to work. So that's what we were concentrating on as much as possible. And it's good if everyone's on board with that. And I think Hank, myself and Paul and Jaenene are probably the most involved in that process for our characters. We're used to working that way. So I think they're used to being a bit more, what's the word?
Fluid.
Yeah.
Improvisational.
Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Thank you. And I guess it worked for them. Yeah. Usher said, we did a lot of unscripted stuff.
Yeah.
I let Ben and Jaenene go. They were totally free. Usher said he wanted the film to look flat, like a comic book. I tried to capture that alternate reality, but keep the edgy humour.
This film looks a little flat, Kingo. Yeah, it was my intention.
Oh yeah, it needed a little flat.
Like a comic book.
Yeah. So shooting began in October 98 in Los Angeles and was completed the following April. I thought it would be quick, but it ended up being this 6-month shoot, Stiller said. So you can sort of see this, as each quote comes in, it's like, yeah, I just thought it was going to be better and easier now.
It all paid off.
Yeah.
All paid off.
Well, did it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we like it, but did anyone else? That's the thing.
We'll find out.
Bob Burden was on the set for some of the shoot, the creator, answering questions that came up about his creations. There were times where we were kind of stumped in a scene and we asked him what he thought. Levin said, the great thing about him is that 10 minutes later, we get 30 pages in the fax machine with probably 29 pages filled with the lousiest ideas that you've ever read, but that one page of pure genius.
Gold.
Yeah. The original ending was unpopular with test audiences. So Usher shot a new one with what he called a big cheer finish. So I don't know what they had originally. Just everyone died. Like Blake 7. Yeah. Horrible. Universal delayed the film's release 1 week to avoid competing with the opening of the Blair Witch Project.
Right. Yeah.
So
probably a
smart
decision.
However, in its opening weekend, it grossed $10 million, ranking number 6th at the US box office.
Number 6th.
By the end of its run, a couple of weeks later, it grossed just 29 million domestically and only under 4 million internationally, for a worldwide total of just 33 million.
Oh, that's got to be less than its budget.
68 million was its budget.
Half. Is that less than half?
Give or take.
Half.
So very much a box office bomb.
A flop.
Such a shame.
It's a great film. It must have made it, though, like, do you see it at the cinema?
No.
I didn't see it at the cinema.
I did see it on DVD.
I saw it on VHS. I reckon it's probably made its money back.
Over time. It's taken 20 odd years. Eventually, it did do it.
We're doing our bit now. It hasn't quite hit budget yet.
Nah.
Go and watch Mystery Men. Go buy Mystery Men, on streaming or whatever.
Yeah.
Help it hit that budget. Yeah. That sweet budget.
Do you want Fact Smash?
Oh, we haven't had Fact Smash in a while.
Yeah. Fact Smash.
Fact Smash. Smash.
So if you're wondering what Tom Waits' odd hand gestures were in the film, were you wondering about that?
I was just wondering what Tom Waits is doing in this film. I thought you were going to say, if you're wondering why Tom Waits is in this movie, but yeah.
So he had a lot of odd hand. If you watch it back, he's doing stuff with his hands. It's a result of him writing his dialogue on his fingers and reading the words as he went along.
Didn't know that. Brilliant. So he's constantly doing a lot of stuff with his fingers and looking at it.
Just staring at it. According to the DVD commentary, the scene where the spleen accidentally ignites a blast of flatulence standing by a barrel with a fire in it was a happy accident. Apparently, a crew member had tossed a plastic lighter in the barrel. It happened to explode, a small explosion, but explosion nonetheless. The reactions that were followed were created after the fact, capitalizing on the moment caught in film. So it was like, oh, fuck. Whoops.
That was the best. That was the best bit in the movie. We didn't even plan it. Yeah.
In a 2011 interview with the AV Club, Hank Azaria claimed that during production, Kinnear Usher declared, I'm going back to commercials when this is done. I've had enough. I'd much rather do my cool little 1 minute shorts and that I make than deal with all this nonsense. So he just,
He'd had enough.
No.
1 minute shorts.
Working with all these prima donnas and, all the faff that comes with it. No. Invisible Boy is the only member of the team who has no comic book counterpart. In fact, he was made up as a joke by drunken Bob Burden. The filmmakers loved the idea and just added him to the script.
Maybe he is in the comic, but you just don't see him.
You just can't see him.
Yeah.
According to Ben Stiller, in an interview with David Letterman, he and Greg Kinnear got into a heated argument on the set. Afterwards, Stiller tried to be released from the film. So they had a massive fight.
Jesus.
And Stiller was like, I'm done.
I'm furious.
Why was I'm Mr. Furious?
Yeah.
Why was that not filmed? I love the idea of Kinnear versus Stiller, like the ultimate 90s action, farce. It'd be amazing.
Picturing like Face Off with Kinnear and Stiller.
It'd be amazing.
I sort of can't imagine either of them getting like really angry.
Kinnear was in Friends as well, wasn't he?
Yeah.
What was he?
He was Ross's love rival.
Was he?
Yeah.
Everyone. Was Jaenene Garofalo in Friends at any point? I feel like she should have been if she wasn't.
I don't think she was, but really feels like she should have been.
Yeah. And that's it. That's it for Fact Smash.
That's it
and the episode.
Yeah.
A short but sweet look back, and in my opinion, an underrated comedy.
Yeah.
From the 90s. Thoughts?
Well, one thing you've not addressed.
Okay.
I thought you might bring it up when you were talking about.
Do it now.
When you talk about Cass.
Yeah.
Is the Michael Bay cameo.
Oh, yeah. No. Yeah, I did. I was like, does anyone care?
Yes, I care.
Bring it up.
Let's talk about it.
Good. Yeah, good.
Michael Bay does a cameo.
Yeah.
So
was this before? So you'd obviously done a few films at this point.
He was Michael Bay at this point.
Oh, okay.
Michael Bay.
Right, yeah.
It's definitely Michael Bay. So there's a scene where Casanova Frankenstein is kind of he's causing chaos across Champion City, and he's uniting all these gangs. And one of these gangs is sort of like a frat pack.
Yeah.
Type gang, not frat pack meaning like the Ben Stiller,
Vince Vaughn
movie oeuvre. I mean, literally they're like a fraternity. And they're led by one sort of slightly too old to be a frat guy, played by Michael Bay. Why?
No one would know who he was.
No, why? I didn't realise for years it was Michael Bay. Why is it Michael Bay? What's the backstory behind that? You should have told me that, you haven't. Going to try and find it out now. Why is Michael Bay in Mystery Men? Live Googling. Yeah.
Well, from what I've discovered, the first of Googling, he wasn't very good in it.
Well, we'll come back to that, but carry on.
This is him talking about it later, many years later. Geoffrey Rush started improvising and I said my line at the wrong point, and then I go, cut, I fucked that up. And then Usher was shooting me with this wide thing in front of my nostrils, and I was like, you cannot put me on film with that piece of shit lens. So, always on. But what I guess he was just mates with the production team, and that's just how he appeared. And
who knows? And you should insert this clip in at this point.
Okay.
Michael Bay. So along with Vermin should be exterminated Casanova.
Yeah.
One of my other favorite line deliveries moments in Mystery Men comes via Michael Bay, where Casanova Frankenstein is like saying something along the lines of, right, okay, we've had this meeting and now we'll move on to this next room. And Michael Bay's character, being like the leader of this evil frat gang, he's got beers, and he says, dude, can we bring the brewskis? And Geoffrey Rush says, yes, of course, you may absolutely bring the brewskis. One of the greatest...
But what a weird line to include.
But one of the greatest line deliveries.
Yeah.
But both, the whole dynamic there,
yeah.
Brilliant.
That's probably the line he meant.
Can we bring the brewskis?
Yeah.
Yes, of course, you may absolutely bring the brewskis.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. One of my favourite lines, one of my brother's favourite lines from Mystery Men.
Brilliant.
That little moment, yeah.
Dude, can we bring the brewskis?
Yes, of course. You may absolutely bring the brewskis.
Do you think there's any hope of any kind of sequel or remake or anything with Mystery Men, especially with the boys doing so well at the TV sphere?
Still banging that drum,
Yeah.
but it's exactly... do you know what? Even though you're basing it on nothing, given that you've never seen the boys, I will admit that...
I think I'm right. I reckon I'll watch this back and go, yeah.
I think you've stumbled across something. Unintentionally. I think you've been successful in doing so.
Successful.
Because I do think actually watching clips back of Mystery Men where scenes of Captain Amazing taking part in commercials, he is kind of like Mystery Men's version of Homelander.
Okay.
You don't know who that is.
Nah.
You'll find out.
All right.
And you'll be like, fuck
You're
me.
right.
Fuck me. You're right. I'm right.
Yeah.
We're all right.
Yeah. Good.
So yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
We did a shout out to people, obviously, saying we're doing Mystery Men. We had a few comments. Howard said, Kel Mitchell as the Invisible Boy was the most touching of the characters. As a Gen X person, I really identified with his feelings of abandonment. So, inner thoughts and feelings of this film, there's more to it than meets the eye. There is nuance.
There is nuance.
Absolute nuance. Chris said, it didn't click with me the first time I watched it, but for some reason I ended up watching it again soon after and everything fell into place. It's hilarious. I quote it all the time. And he had his favourite quote from the film. We struck down evil with a mighty sword of teamwork and the hammer of not bickering. Very good.
Yeah. Have you ever seen the TV show Criminal Minds?
Yes.
And every episode starts with a quote.
Yeah.
And it's quite like a sort of worthy, cheesy quote. And every time I watch it, it's normally like a quote from like a philosopher or someone, Carl Jung or something. And every time it just makes me think of the Sphinx.
Yeah.
Because every single...
Always the reversal of...
It's literally every quote is... So that the thing the Sphinx does...
If you don't master your rage, the rage will become your master.
If you do not master your rage will become your master. That is literally the start of every episode of Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
I realise this is such a niche reference. But if you
Someone
both...
will appreciate it.
Someone out there will appreciate it. If you both love Mystery Men and Criminal Minds, every episode starts with something like, Carl Jung said, if you do not master your rage will become your master. It's the Sphinx. It's just the Sphinx.
Matt said, superb movie. Unfortunately, not seen it since the original cinema release. # do serendipity.
He's just a big Kinnear fan.
Absolutely.
No, wait, that's Duve Got Mail.
It is Do Got Mail. Yeah.
We'll do both. We will do both.
This Christmas, you can't wait for this Christmas. Both Serendipity and Do Got Mail. Amazing.
That's a Two Geeks exclusive.
Absolutely. And finally, Nathan said on Instagram, I used to love Hank Azaria's character. I think the Maharaja, almost, because he had a British accent. Then I think later in the movie, it turns out he was American, and I was gutted. That's true. Because he just loses faith, and he realised he's just some American dude who, for some reason, thinks he's British.
The guy who said he hadn't seen it since the original cinema release.
Yeah.
So he did see it at the cinema.
He did.
So he
with a few.
Yeah, exactly. He is like,
what was it like?
We don't want to gather these people. He paid like whatever it was at the time, like £3, that contributed to that 34 million.
Yeah.
Like, and that's like,
well done, you.
That's like a measurable percentage because it's such a low amount of money that this film grossed. But you can be like, yeah, you're at least like 0.001% of that. Yeah. Well done.
So that is it. Thanks again for joining us for more episodes about all kinds of geek pop culture from yesteryear, including a load of 90s films like this, like Willow, Three Musketeers, Demolition Man, all sorts. Head to 2geeks2beers.com or find us wherever you get your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, Google, Amazon Podcasts, all kinds of things.
And please give us a review and a rating. If you head to 2geeks2beers.com, you'll find a big rate this podcast button, making it nice and easy for you. Please give us a decent or at least funny review. If you're going to be mean, at least be funny about it. And any mention of past 2 Geeks in jokes will get bonus points. And any we find particularly funny, we will send you an official beer mat. You can also support us on Patreon. That's patreon.com/2geekscast. There you'll get exclusive bonus episodes and minisodes. Every time we record a full episode like this one, we also record a minisode with past subjects including the first films we ever saw, our favourite discontinued snacks, our favourite 90s TV adverts, and much more.
Yes, and as ever, please follow us on all the socials at 2geekscast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and even TikTok. And get in touch for whatever reason, podcast at 2geeks2beers.com. So that is it for now. We'll be back very soon, and we'll bring the brewskis.
Yes, of course, we will absolutely bring the brewskis.
A show hosted by two blokes desperately clinging to life before middle age by being sucked. Start again. Fine.
Just go,
a little bit drunk.
A show hosted.
Yeah. My first impression was just how relatable the characters are. Levin said, Bob Burden has a real surrealistic.
Surrealistic. Is that what you're trying to say?
It is surrealistic.
Yeah, go for it. I believe in you.
To make the outtakes.
Yep.
Levin said, Bob Burden has a real surrealistic sensibility at the core of his work.
Oh, God.
It's not even that good.
We'll never drink whiskey again.
Levin said...
All right, come on.
Got the giggles.
Right. Serious face.
What are you going to do this time? Levin said, Bob Burden has a real surrealistic... It's the word surrealistic.
Right.
Okay. No. Levin said, Bob Burden, at the core of his work, is something that that's thematically... Oh, my God. Chris said, it didn't... Fuck me. Oh, isn't it?
Yeah.
Talking.